Welcome to the WordPress Photography Podcast, the podcast for photographers who want to learn how to get the most out of WordPress to grow their photography business. You don't need to be a geek to understand WordPress. Settle back and listen as we show you how. Now, here's your host, Scott Wyden-Kivowitz.
Welcome to episode 44. My name is Scott Wyden-Kivowitz, and I'm joined by my guest, Brandon Hopper. Brandon is the owner of the company, The Hopper Company, based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. He provides web design services, website support, and maintenance, and marketing integration. In addition to his web services, Brandon has also helped businesses develop their online marketing strategies. Prior to starting The Hopper Company, Brandon spent more than 10 years working with companies in a wide variety of industries to develop, maintain, and grow their online presence. From recommending different marketing tools and technologies to optimizing websites for higher search engine rankings, he has overseen various facets of online marketing. Outside of work, he enjoys working out, spending time with his two dogs, roasting his own coffee, which is something I've always wanted to do, and he's a big fan of the Buffalo Bills. Why the Buffalo Bills, though?
Oh, the Buffalo Bills. Oh, man. Ever since I was a kid, it just was one of those things, you know, they were always on TV. They were a team that was really exciting. They had the K-Gun with Jim Kelly, and just everything really came together. I'm living the curse right now. I mean, I think we're on 17 years now without a playoff berth. So
yeah, that's funny.
It's a true fan, sticking with it in the good times and the bad.
Yeah, you got to stick with it if you're a true fan. So for some time now, Brandon has been my personal go-to recommendation for photographers who need custom services. So if you are somebody who is looking for something in this area, then this is an episode you're going to want to listen to. But before we dive into what's going on with Brandon, let's dive into the WordPress news. The first thing, we have two bits of news this week. The first one is WordPress 4.8.2 is now out with 9 security patches. So like always, back up your sites, run your updates, and make sure that your WordPress site is safe and secure. If your host does updates for you, I'm sure they will be doing it soon because it's an important update. The second bit of news is going along with all the new widgets that are in WordPress 4.9 and going along with the upcoming content block editor that's coming soon in 5.0, there is a new gallery widget being added to WordPress 4.9. Now, this is great to see WordPress doing this, but the downside is that the gallery widget is going to be like a regular WordPress gallery that you can insert in a poster page. So it's going to be very, very basic. It's just going to be a bunch of thumbnails, and that's it. So, yeah, it's great. Will you use it? I don't think photographers are going to wind up using it, but I could be wrong. I guess we'll see what happens with that. So that's coming in WordPress 4.9. Yeah. So what's going on with you, Brandon? What's new in your world, in Hopper Company world, and whatnot?
Staying busy for sure. What I've done, I released a new support block system. And with that support block system, it allows me to do any website support and maintenance services. But at the same time, while I was implementing this, it was kind of like getting an understanding as far as what my clients were really after. They're not only after the do-it-for-you service, but they're also after some of the educational aspects, especially with photographers. They want to learn it as they go, but sometimes some of the support stuff is over their head. Right. And they're really just trying to figure out, like, all right, how do I do this? Can you show me? Or can you tell me? So what I do is provide not only the do-it-for-you service, but also document that as I go along. And so the next time that they go into it, they can look at that ticket or that support block, read it over, just do it themselves and save money, which reduces support costs. Or if they get too busy because, you know, if they're being basically growing their business and successful and booking a lot of clients, I can just do it for them as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's really cool.
I've been sending some people your way, and I guess they've been happy, so which is good. So they're having you do a bunch of other stuff. So it's nice to see. And busy is good. Busy is that's That's business.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's good. Yeah. So let's talk about you sort of dived into our first topic, which was maintenance support services. So why should people be, or I should say, there are many people who do think that they might need an outside maintenance support service, but why should somebody, if they're sort of already leaning in that direction, what should really push them over? What would you say would be your guidance as to why they should really find somebody, whether it's you or somebody else, to do maintenance and support services for them as a photographer?
Yeah, for sure. Well, first off, I mean, it's definitely an investment. So if you're going to spend the money and the time in your website, you're going to want to take care of it. Essentially, anything that you take care of in life is going to last a long time and provide you with benefits. So if you don't take care of it, it's just going to be like a car. Like if you don't change the oil, you run it to death, it's going to break. And then all of a sudden, you just wasted all that money. So investing in support services and understanding, like, there's a difference between doing it yourself and figuring it out and breaking things along the way compared to hiring a professional, saving time, and then allowing you to go out there and work on the things that you love. I don't know very many photographers that enjoy the website support, the SEO, the, any side of that they're trying to learn. But what they love to do is take photographs. So why not just concentrate on doing that, outsource the other stuff at a reasonable price, and then you don't have to worry about it. I have several clients that come in and they start talking about, oh yeah, we need to do this, and this. And so like they start naming off all these things. I'm like, all right, let's calm down. Let's get to where the money is first. What's going to make you the most money right off the bat? And how can we make sure that everything that you have is secure, safe, and then also making it the best experience for your visitor? So all those things come together. It's not just support and maintenance. It's more than that. It's about understanding your clients. It's about marketing. It's about doing things that are going to be beneficial to your business. And that's where I come in. I do a lot of this.
So when you say marketing, you could actually help through these support blocks. You can help photographers build their funnels.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Build their actual, lead generation processes, which is something that a lot of photographers struggle over. So when you're thinking of, okay, well, what could Brandon's company do for me? Don't think just, okay, well, he can do backups and he can update my plugins and my theme, my WordPress and blah, 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 and he can make sure my site is secure. And no, it goes beyond that. Brandon's company can actually help make you money by helping you build your lead funnels.
Yeah,
that's
definitely
a big thing. So, so let's talk about how this works with the support blocks. Can you talk about what the support blocks are, and just to give us a brief, understanding of how that works?
All right. So support blocks. What usually happens is a customer will want to talk to me, and they get a free consultation. So whenever they come, like, they're either referred to me or they fill out a form on my website, and then we begin the conversation as far as what they're looking for, whether that's marketing strategy or any type of optimizations on their website, or generating new leads, putting opt-in forms, or understanding like how they should lay out specific pages. So it could be like a new layout on your front page. How am I going to get the most out of it? Also, what about like the way that I lay out my services? A lot of people just photographers like to put their photos out there, and putting their photos isn't necessarily converting and doing anything because you're not giving anyone a path to go down. So like you have to have a form, some type of opt-in there. Wherever you provide them that path, then all of a sudden you have them into your system, and then you can start working them there. So when it comes down to it, what people really need to understand is when you're marketing to someone, think about the way that you actually sell. What point is it? Is it in person? How are you going to get them to that point? So if you're trying to get leads and stuff from the internet and using SEO or any other marketing tactic, whether it's email marketing or groups or anything of that nature, what you're going to want to do is concentrate on how am I going to convert that person to the next step? And moving that person to the next step is going to be getting them in a place where you can sell them. And generally that is going to be in person, over the phone, or something of that nature. The way that the blocks really like benefit everyone is they come into the site, they register. So not only can they have a membership, which gives them an additional 25% off of blocks, but whenever they get blocks, they can purchase a set of bulk pricing blocks. So it's 6, 12, 24, 48. And that allows additional bulk pricing discounts. So I'm making it extremely affordable from the original price for photographers to come in at a low entry. I grandfather those prices in, and I also basically provide them quotes every single time. Like if somebody wants marketing strategy, then we'll schedule an appointment, and then that may be 2 or 3 blocks, or maybe it's 1 block. It depends on how much time we schedule out. And so what I do is document that. I type it up and I put it in their account so they can click on that and know exactly what day it happened, what the information is that we talked about, and then also see how many blocks were used. And so throughout the process, they're being updated, informed as far as the way that their money is being spent, and also being able to read back through the conversation. So it's almost like a recording, essentially. If they want to record the conversation, we can record it. We can put video on there. We can do anything that they want to. It's basically however they want to learn, what they want to do. They're in complete control. I'm just here to offer professional services that allow them to 1, learn, 2, reduce time, and 3, just have control of everything that they do online, especially with their website, instead of just buying a normal service that goes out there and says, all right, well, here's this and all the things that you get in it. Well, I'm only going to use 2 or 3 things out of the 6 that's provided. So really, you're just wasting your money. This is all about customizing services to each individual client in the way that they want to learn and need to learn in the services that they specifically need.
And these support blocks, they can be purchased if you don't have the membership, correct?
Yeah.
It's just more expensive to buy it without the membership.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive. It's just 25% more. What that membership does is basically provide you 25%, and then you get access to not only the support blocks at a cheaper price, but you also get, I'm starting to add different things. So I'm working out more things, and it's not just like, this is what you get, and that's all it is. I'm constantly improving it and adding more things along the line. So I have a couple things in the works right now that I'm working with that I'm thinking about adding in the future, but I'm not releasing it right now. It's a little bit of a secret. So we're going to get there.
Nice. So I look at this as more of an investment type thing, just sort of like how a lot of wedding photographers, they outsource their editing to Shoot.edit, or their blogging to Photoscribe, or and so on. You know, they just like you would outsource your accounting to an accountant, right?
Yeah.
So I look at this in the same way. So many photographers that I interact with don't want to deal with the maintenance stuff, and you know, a lot of the Imagely themes that came out were all designed on the Genesis framework, so that photographers can spend less time fussing with their sites and get back to just shooting, making the photographs. And I kind of look at these support blocks as sort of that same sort of thing, in that same sort of vein where the photographers need to keep going back to making the photographs because that's where they make their money.
Yeah.
So they need to outsource the parts that don't make them the money, but are just sort of necessary evils that you have to do. You have a website, you have to maintain it. I don't care if it's WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, whatever it is. You have to maintain it. You have to do things to it. So if you don't feel comfortable doing the maintenance tasks, doing the SEO, doing the funnels, and all this stuff, then outsource it. Outsource it to somebody.
Absolutely.
And right here is, you're somebody that can outsource to. So
yeah, I mean, it's all about staying relevant. So you need to stay up with the times. You also need to stay relevant as far as any of your optimizations. You have to, updates are provided for a reason. There's patches, there's everything. Like, you have to, they're doing it to help you, not to hurt you. So
yeah,
I see so many websites out there that they basically neglect it. And wherever they neglect their website, they're susceptible to viruses, malware, SQL injections, things that happen that
Well, so
are gonna
recently, for example, there's been like 5 plugins that were, I don't know, they were either abandoned or acquired by other developers, and these plugins were sort of infected with not malware but just spam. So when people had these plugins on their sites were then littered with spam, which then hurts their rankings. So it was maliciously done, and those plugins were since removed from the WordPress directory. But without somebody paying attention to that for you, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't be aware of this, and your site could literally be dropped from Google because of spam.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So can you give us, let's say, 3 examples of tasks that you've done? You don't have to tell us the photographers you did it for or anything, but give us, if you can, 3 examples of work you've done to take it off the plate of photographers.
All right. One of the things that I've done most recently is, and since we're on the subject of the spam and basically just bad things happening and people not being aware of it. Well, I had a client that I was working with that had it basically like transferring the website. So they had, I think it was like Show It or something like that. So it was on Show It, and then they also had WordPress. And so they were using their blog and then also Show It, and then it was like just basically back and forth, 2 different styles. So what I did was redesign it and develop the website to bring everything together. Well, when I was moving everything over, I always play around in different browsers and stuff. It's a web developer's deal. You have to. If you don't, then who knows what it's going to look like at the other end. So, whenever I was going through and doing that, all of a sudden I pulled up Chrome, and it's saying that there's a risk that there's malware and infections and all that stuff through the WordPress site. I was like, oh no, what is going on? It actually came down to the theme that they had installed. They didn't update the theme. They didn't do any upgrades or anything like that. And that theme was actually causing all of the malware and creating just havoc on the website. So what I did is I went through, removed all the plugins, cleaned everything up. We also transferred over to a different host and did a bunch of things there, switched out the theme as well. And then after that, everything was great. Like, she got a new design. She was able to have a clean site that was taken care of. I went through all of the comments and everything and just basically cleaned it all up.
So in this case, not only did you clean it up, but did you also, if I understood this correctly, you actually merged the Show It site and the WordPress site so it's 100% WordPress?
Yeah.
Nice. So that's good to know too, that you can actually do Show It migrations, because there's a lot of people who want to leave because of the limitations.
Show It, Wix, Squarespace, you name it. I mean, there's
great
anything. If I've been in web development for well over 10 years. I've done marketing for over 10 years. I've been working with teams. I've built teams. I've worked inside of teams. I've done a lot of things. So I've seen quite a bit as far as what the web's built up and what it consists of. So
yeah, and in the Facebook for photographers, the WordPress for photographers Facebook group, there's a lot of people who join and say, "Can anybody help migrate from Squarespace?" And I've done many of them, and I even wrote an article on how much of a pain it is to migrate from Squarespace, but how worth it is. And so I'm going to link to that in the show notes for anybody to read. But if you are trying to leave Squarespace or Show It or any of these services for WordPress, contact Brandon, because I don't have time for it. so hire him to do it for you. You can have somebody handle all the annoyances that it is to do it, because it is really a pain in the butt to move from them. So awesome. All right. So can you give us 2 other examples of work you've done?
Yeah, 2 other examples. I'm working on a couple membership sites for photographers. One of them was The Art of Six Figures with Easton Reynolds. Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
So what we did, we went through a couple different launches and working through the launch and just developing a custom audience for him. He does a really nice job on Facebook advertising, and his course, it's phenomenal. I suggest people, go there, take a look at it. He does a really, really good job as far as teaching that information. But as far as the site, there are several challenges and stuff that we were facing and a lot of custom coding that happened in that site. And it just turned out nice, like really, really nice.
Nice. Yeah, that was, I remember watching the process of that, of how,
I think that he did a webinar, or he let you guys in for a Zoom or something like that, and showed everybody what was going on as I was actually in there working on it. And so like things were changing and stuff like that. And he actually mentioned, I was like, did you let people in, or were you showing them something? And he goes, yeah. I was like, but I'm working in there. And so we just kind of joked and laughed about that.
Nice. Yeah, I'll be sure to link to Art of Six Figures in the show notes as well. It's a fantastic course for anybody who wants to learn more about marketing for their photography business. So awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so one more. Can you give us one more?
All right, one more. I am working with Photographer Entrepreneur, and I am building out their membership course too, or membership site.
Oh. For anybody who is not watching and actually just heard it, his dogs just had a fun barking. His dogs had a conversation with him.
Yeah. They said, "Time to get back to work. Let's do this. We have stuff to do."
Yeah.
No, but as far as
Awesome.
the Photographer Entrepreneur, we're working on several new pieces as far as adding it in there. I'm working with Paul and Melissa Pruitt, and it's going to be phenomenal. Like, I think that they have such a great concept as far as what they do and what they provide to their members, that there's tons of value, tons of benefit that's added inside of there. And we're going anything from free courses to premium courses to different groups inside, like, of just teaching them multiple things. I'm going to get a little bit more involved inside there, and they're possibly some interviews and stuff like that for me, and just kind of direct help. So it's going to be pretty nice. I think the added value and stuff is really going to be something big that's coming up in October, November.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And I think they're even teaching at Photo Plus Expo, which this podcast episode will be coming out right before that. So I'm looking forward to meeting them in person finally at Photo Plus. So that's going to be cool.
Yeah, they're really nice people, good people to talk to.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the next part of the episode. What is your recommended WordPress plugin or theme that photographers should take a look at?
Oh, what are my favorite plugins? Well, my favorite theme is Genesis by far. Mm-hmm. So that gives me the flexibility as far as what I can do with. I can code just about anything in there, and I can connect just about anything. So that's what's really cool about Genesis. I like that a lot. The plugin that I like a lot is WP Types. Have you ever heard of WP Types before?
Is that what's like? It's like a custom post type plugin.
Yeah, it's created by Toolset, and WP Types offers, like, there's layouts, there's custom post types, there's post fields. So like you can put custom fields inside of custom post types. It basically, like, the flagship of everything that they try and sell there is no PHP coding. So
nice.
You don't even have to be a developer in order to get in there and play around with it. So, and they also, like, another cool part of it is views. So it's called WP Views, and everything's like set in there as far as like a grouping. And what you can do is create your own custom sliders, your own. You can even plug that into like NextGen and throw a NextGen gallery along with another slider, or have like multiple galleries and stuff like that in there in a slider that basically provides your portfolio. So it's really cool. You can do so much with it. It's so easy to use.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I've never used it myself, but because I usually just hard code the custom post types, I've never, really paid attention to other stuff that they've offered with it. So I'll have to check that out. It's pretty good. Okay, so the last bit is this is new for the podcast. We've only done this once previously in the last episode, episode 43. A question that you want to answer, the listeners to answer, either in the YouTube video if they're watching there, or go into the show notes. What kind of question would you like them to answer for you?
What is the one thing that's most difficult for any website owner to do on their website? Basically, what's the least favorite thing that they have to take care of? Is it the website maintenance? Is it marketing? Is it the SEO side of it? What is your pain? What do you not like about owning a website and having to be that small business owner?
Nice. That's a good question.
It's tough. I mean, I think people are going to sit there and think about it, because if I had to pick something, I'm not even sure where I'd start, because marketing can be difficult. Also, all the algorithm updates from the SEO side, those are difficult. Website maintenance, staying on top of that, as far as like any of the updates, the patches, and then you have to make sure that you do the backup, then after the backup, you run the patch, and then basically you make sure everything's right, then you run another backup, so to make sure that it's all secure. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it.
Nice. Yeah, I like it. I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody comes up with. Awesome. Well, thank you, Brandon, for joining me today. You can find the show notes from today's episode and where to find Brandon at imagely.com/podcast/44. So until next time.
Thanks, Scott.
You've been listening to the WordPress Photography Podcast. To listen to other episodes and to subscribe to the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and more, please visit imagely.com/podcast.